go to an Essex County waste energy facility in Newark. Not only is landfill the most expensive thing we can do with our garbage, it's the most environmentally degrading thing we can do, and it's the way of handling our garbage that poses the greatest likelihood for eventual public health adverse impacts. And every ton of New York City, as Nick Femelis points out, is landfilling the Earth's planet at the rate of 140 acres a year. And every ton of landfill waste produces 45 times more greenhouse gas than a ton of waste that is handled in the waste energy facility. Instead of just sticking our trash on a train and washing our hands of it, we should have a plan, which all the pieces fit together, and which the most important issues are addressed, which is ultimately where it goes and what's done with it. The first part of putting a real plan together is reducing the amount of waste that we generate in the first place. Reducing waste is much more important from an environmental perspective than we generally realize, because for every pound of garbage or ton of garbage that we see floating above the water, there are 61 pounds in the iceberg underneath the water level, waste that was produced in extraction, manufacturing, transporting, and distributing that pound of consumer commodity. There's only one real way to reduce the amount of waste that we generate. Every other way is trivial. And that's to charge people on the basis for the waste services that they have on the basis of how much they throw away. The way we charge people now for waste disposal services are irrational and unfair. We're spending $1 billion a year to get rid of our garbage. We're spending $1 million a day more than we were before fresh goods closed. The annual rate of increase is about the equivalent of 300 full-time jobs, cops, nurses, and so on. And the most conscientious recycler pays as much as most irresponsible waste throwers. Instead of making an invisible fight out of our property taxes, people need to be able to control their own waste disposal costs. It's a win-win situation for everyone. The city would save tens of millions of dollars a year while significantly reducing adverse environmental impacts. And anybody who cared enough to be socially responsible about the way they threw away their waste would save money too. Everyone's property taxes would be reduced up front by the amount that now goes to waste disposal services. Recycling would be free in the sense that you wouldn't be charged for the stuff you threw away. You'd only be charged for the stuff that you did throw away. In single-family areas, we would use roll-out containers that could be picked up by robot arms, another win-win opportunity. So we reduce collection costs, reduce rat problems, reduce worker injuries, and the workers on the semi-automatic trucks would get paid more for shift differential. People will be charged on the basis of the number and size of containers they roll out, just as they are in many places in New Jersey and thousands of places across the country, which have on average 17% less garbage now than they did before their save-as and throw systems were put in place. In multi-family areas, we might have a bag system. You'd have to buy an orange bag with the sanitation department logo, which would be sold in every place that black garbage bags are now sold, maybe $3 or $4 a bag. And if you didn't have your garbage in an orange bag, it wouldn't be picked up. You'd get a fine. People will say, well, that doesn't give people in apartment buildings an economic incentive because all the waste from the building will be set out together. The same argument was made about water metering for the same reason, because you can't put a meter in every unit. But water metering is the single most effective way to reduce water use, and it works even in New York City. So with bags, co-ops would have a collective incentive to reduce money. Owners of rental buildings would have an incentive to see that those buildings recycle effectively. And everyone would be more aware of the relationship between what they're throwing away and what they're paying. And from that basic step, a long chain of useful waste prevention consequences would follow. Consumers would be financially rewarded every time they took a reusable bag to a grocery store, every time they chose a product alternative that had less packaging, every time they chose for a newspaper or a cell phone in a recycling container instead of a trash basket. Producers would have a competitive advantage every time they used a package that had less material, that was easier to recycle. And sending junk mail would be bad publicity instead of good publicity. A more ambitious program would extend the advantages of roll-out containers and robot arms to multi-family buildings. Robot arms obviously can't reach over a line of parked cars. But right now we have alternate street side regulations that require every curb to be clear for an hour and a half, twice a week. If we had a more modest program that said so that you can use mechanical collectors rather than sweepers. If we had a more modest program, we could use mechanical collectors in front of apartment buildings. We reserve a couple of parking spaces, or one parking space perhaps, in front of each building for a couple of hours during collection days, during the time that people are collecting waste. Or maybe we do that at the same time that we're doing sweeping. Supers could roll their carts into these reserved spots. Robot arms can pick them up. spaces that would be green and open and traffic calming. We might have plants that would reduce runoff, might offer special recycling and compost facilities. It's impossible to talk about a whole waste management plan in a few minutes, so I'll close by just saying that the ultimate endpoints of our waste system, with net save money, reduce environmental impacts, need to be closer, and they need to be in our control rather than the control of an industry in which 80% of all the private landfill capacity in this country is owned by 3 companies. We should be processing